Hello guys, I'm Bethany and welcome back to my channel. Today is Bookmas Day 2. If it goes according to plan, this is Bookmas Day 2. So hello, welcome back to the channel. So fun seeing you. So many days in a row. So fun. So today I'm going to be doing my November wrap up. So all the books that I read in November, minus a few, because a few of them I'm going to be doing reading vlogs for. So it's currently November 28th. I'm filming this a little early because I'm doing reading vlogs for the rest of the books that I'm reading in November. So I don't want to talk about them before the reading vlogs come out. So I'm going to talk about all the books besides the ones I am or will be doing reading vlogs for. I had a really great reading month. I feel like I kind of got slumpy in the middle of the month, but I feel like I caught it before it got bad. So now I'm like feeling good, enjoying reading, not feeling slumpy. So that's great. Anyway, so let's get started. The first two books I read in November were absolute bricks. I read Saving and Redeeming 6 by Chloe Walsh. As you can see, they are so huge. Honestly, when I look at these, I'm like, I can't believe that I read these because the font is also tiny. Can you see that font? Let me get a big page. Okay, can you see this font? It's tiny. Anyways, you don't care. Basically, these are the third and fourth books in the Boys of Tommen series. The first two are Binding and Keeping 13. And before I say anything about the series, please check trigger warnings for all of these books. Definitely for Binding and Keeping 13, but even more for Saving and Redeeming 6 because I feel like there's even more trigger warnings in these, even more brutal, really sad topics discussed in these books. So please check trigger warnings. I know that they're being traditionally published and they're being marketed for like new adults, like 16 to 18 year olds, which boggles my mind because reading these, I do not think a 16 to 18 year old should be reading them, but well, it depends on the 16 to 18 year old, but I definitely think these are more adult romances. I mean, they are set in high school, like they're about teenagers, but the topics and the content is very heavy. So just like know that. Check trigger warnings, please. I'm begging you because I'm about to give a great review of them because I love them so much, but I need you to check up trigger warnings. My dog is moving my tripod. Okay. Binding and Keeping 13 are about Johnny and Shannon, and these are about Shannon's brother Joey and his love interest, Aoife. They're set in Ireland at a college, which is basically a high school in like Irish terms, I guess. There's also a glossary at the beginning of each book. I guess that's what you would call it, with words that they use, so you kind of know what they're saying because the language is very heavy like Irish because like they're speaking English, but they just have a different slang, different words that they use. So there's a glossary to help you if you don't know those words, which is really helpful for me because specifically in these books, they are kind of split up in years. And in the US, we don't separate years like they do. So for instance, let's see, it's like first year, second year, like we don't say it like that in the US. So you can look in the glossary to see what year that actually means like in the US, how old they are, that kind of thing. Anyways, also I'm so sorry that the camera is way further back than it was. My dog, she moved the tripod. This is a bit chaotic, but we're just gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on trekking. There's not as big of a cliffhanger at the end of Saving 6 as there is of Binding 13, but there is a cliffhanger in Saving 6 and you need to go into Redeeming 6 if you want a happy ending. Like you can't just read Saving 6 and get a happy ending. No, you have to read Redeeming 6. So just to forewarn you, and these also, as far as timelines, Saving 6 goes way before Binding 13, and then Redeeming 6 it's pretty much the whole timeline of Binding and Keeping 13 and then goes a little bit past Keeping 13, so if that makes sense. But they are humongous, like they're huge books, but I personally think they don't feel this long. Like if you can get the ebook, like I think the ebook comes out soon in Saving and Redeeming 6, traditionally published. I recommend reading the ebook because it's so much easier. I did that with Binding and Keeping 13 and it was so much easier to read because it doesn't feel as long as it is because you're not reading it bricks, but they don't feel as long as they are. Like I feel like by the end of the books I was wanting more. Like they were so good. I just wanted more of these characters. I also love these characters so much. I gave both of these books 5 stars and I don't think I gave Binding and Keeping 13 5 stars, but overall it's a 5-star series, like a new favorite series of mine, but I like these more and I like Joey and Aoife more. I love Joey. Like I have such a soft spot for him. I felt like my heart broke for him so much in these books, and I love Aoife. She reminded me of how like God is with us. Like he's always pursuing us, never giving up on us, and I feel like that's how Aoife was with Joey. Like she was never giving up on him, and I loved that. There's obviously a lot of profanity, a lot of spice, things like that in these books, but that her character did remind me of like how God is with me. So anyway, it's not gonna ramble about these for literal days. They are very brutal, but the end is so worth it. They are so good. And you're also getting obviously what happened in Binding and Keeping 13 from different points of view, but you're also getting so much more information. So also the trigger warnings in Binding and Keeping 13, I feel like they're kind of more prevalent in these books because you're getting Joey's point of view and he just knows more. Like, he's older, he's kind of the protector, so you're getting so much more of what kind of happened in the home life than Shannon could tell. Obviously what Shannon tells is so sad, but Joey just knows more. He's the protector. You're just seeing his perspective on a lot of things, and it's really sad but really good. I love these books so much. They're absolutely brutal and painful, and I cried multiple times, but they're so good. And also I feel like in Keeping 13 it gets a little bit like better. It's not as sad as Binding 13, but Redeeming 6 is probably more sad than Saving 6. Like, you're not getting much of a reprieve in these books. It's pretty brutal all the way through until the end, so just to let you know. But they're so good, so worth it. I love these books so much, and I did not expect that, but I love them so much, and they are new favorite series. Like, I just can't stop thinking about them and obsessed with them. So anyway, so let's move on. Also, my notes for this month, I literally like slacked on putting my thoughts on these books because I literally barely put anything. You know, it's fine. Next, I read Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I actually read this with Allie when she came to visit, and it was so fun. We like buddy read it and talked about it in the vlog I filmed. So if you want in-depth thoughts, you should go watch that. But this is my first book by Lauren Asher. I have not read like the Dream on Billionaire series, the Racer one. I don't know. I haven't read those. This was my first one, but the premise sounded so good. It's like kind of rivals to lovers. They knew each other as kids, like they're family friends. Dahlia comes back to town, to this little small town, and runs into Julian. There's also a map in the front of the book. Oh, and a playlist of the like little small town. It's so cute. This is also going to be a first book in a series called The Lakefront Billionaires. So Julian is a billionaire, which we love. We love a billionaire. So as you can probably assume, he does literally so many amazing things for Dahlia with his money, but also he's just so sweet, and like he does soft and quiet things for her. Just like a soft, quiet love, but then also like he's, you know, extremely rich. So I love this book so much. I was like giddy, kicking my feet. Like, it was so good. I'd probably give it like a 4.5, 4.75. Me and Allie both loved it so much. It was just so much fun. Like, we didn't want to put it down. We were just having the best time, like smiling, giggling, literally a blast. And his name is Julian. He lived up to his name. If you know, you know. I think he has like a construction company. I don't really know. But he's rich, and Dahlia has like a interior designer. She's like an interior designer. Anyways, it was so good, so cute. Loved it. Love Julian. Highly recommend this book. There is spice in it, but it was still so good. I just skipped over it and I tapped the heck out of it. It was so good. Next, I read a novella, Passion or Penalty by Leah Brunner. This is in the like DC Eagles series, I think, which is Desire, Defense, and Flirtation or Face Off, which I really enjoyed. And this is just like a little novella about two of the characters that you see in those books. This definitely takes place before those, but I read it after. Oh well. All I put in my notes is so cute. I love this so much. Honestly, not much to say. It's like a short novella. It was super cute. It's like best friends to lovers, but they don't know that they love each other. You know, that kind of vibe. Super cute, talky romance, closed door. So cute. Highly recommend. And then I read Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. This is actually the second book after Holiday Romance, I think. Did not read in order. That seems to be a trend with me. But this is like a fake dating over the holidays. And so basically this girl is like kind of running away from her wedding, not like, she's running away from her wedding, and she sees this guy kind of in passing when she leaves, and then years later she runs into him at this like pub. I think this is also taking place in Ireland. Love that. And they decide to fake date over the holidays, which I love that. I love a fake dating over the holidays. It's just so fun. I feel like it just makes sense because of the like setting. I don't know. I really enjoy it. It was just done so well. And Christian, but the main character, was a sweetie. Really liked him. The holiday vibes were there. It was just so good. I do want to read Holiday Romance because I saw the characters from that book and this one. They were pretty prominent in this book, so maybe read in order, but you know, I didn't. I also love that they like always communicated. I love communication in a book. There is spice in it, but it's not very much, so pretty skippable spice. Next, I decided to reread Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. If you follow me for any amount of time, you know this is my favorite book of all time. Genuinely, this book is so good. I read it for the first time in 2020. I read it again in 2020. Then I read it last year and I tabbed it, and then I read it this year in November, clearly, and annotated the crap out of it, and it was a great time. Like, it was so good. Like, if you want a book to get you out of a slump, a book that you can fly through, this is gonna do it. It's such a good romance. It's childhood friends to lovers, second chance. They meet in college. They live in New York and they're both going to NYU. He is a like photographer and she is a musician. She plays the cello, and something happens. They don't see each other for 15 years. He sees her like kind of at the bus stop, subway stop, I don't really know, but can't like talk to her. and you know, figure out how they reconnect, all that stuff, what happened, can they make it work. It is so good, like perfect, a million stars. I love this book with every fiber of my being. So if you have not read it, what are you doing? You should go read it. There is spice in this book, but I feel like it's pretty minimal, pretty mild. It's so good. Like, I love New York City. I love reading about New York City. I feel like this gives me nostalgia for like New York City, even though I've never been. Of like falling in love in your 20s, like going to college in New York. I don't know. It's just so good. I loved it. Anyways, next, I kind of read like a mad woman. I finished the Natural series. So I read Killer Instinct, All In, and then Bad Blood, and there's a novella in this called 12. And I don't know what happened to me, but I read like 80 pages of this in maybe earlier this month, and then I picked it up and just binged the rest of it. It was so good, and then I binged the rest of them. They were so good. I'm trying to decide what my favorite would be. I gave Killer Instinct a 4.5, All In a 4.5, Bad Blood a 4, and then 12 also a 4, the novella. I almost think I could have given Killer Instinct a 5-star if I read it all in one sitting, but I do think this is my favorite probably in the series. I just really love Dean, and I really love like learning more about him in this one, but I also just love the rest of them. I do think it gets a little bit creepy once you get to the end of All In and to the beginning of Bad Blood. Like, actually most of Bad Blood was quite creepy. I had to like put it down and read it the next day in the daylight because I was a little creeped out, but overall I thought it was just so much fun. Like, if you're wanting a series that'll get you out of a slump that you can like binge and read so quickly, I highly recommend the Natural series. It is just a blast. Like, I had so much fun. I love a mystery. I feel like when I was a kid in like elementary school, I loved mysteries, and so I feel like I was back. I was back in my, you know, old stomping grounds. I don't really know. So I really enjoyed these. I love the found family. I love the romance. I feel like I almost maybe like the series more than the Inheritance games. I just feel like so connected to the characters, and I feel like I read it so much faster, and also liked the romance, how that ended up better. I like the found family, and I loved like the mystery because I feel like it made you want to keep reading because you just had to know what was going to happen. I read the Naturals in October at the very end. I gave 4 stars. But basically there's a mystery in each book, but there's also a like big mystery that you're following throughout the whole series that you find out kind of near the end, which is super fun. So highly recommend. It was a blast, and I literally couldn't put it down. I binged it so quick. I was reading these books so fast, it was absurd. So anyways, that is all of the books that I read in November. I hope you enjoyed this. Well, actually, they're not all the books I read in November, but all the books I'm going to be talking about. Look out for reading vlogs, things like that, where I talk about the rest of the books that I read in November. So probably like holiday books, that kind of thing. That is all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry about the camera situation, that it kept moving, but Lily has to be nearby, and I can't, you know, say no to her because she's so cute. So anyways, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you read in November, and I will see you tomorrow for Bookmas Day 3. Bye.